Hey everybody, welcome to another WIP Wednesday stream. This is our 25th stream. That's crazy,
I
right?
know, right? It's been
So
going on for
crazy.
so
We've
long.
been we've been doing this for a while now.
Serious.
And we have a little tiny bit of a different setup. I'm not sure if you guys can even tell from where you're standing. It looks pretty much the same. But funny story, I was recording a video the other day and my tripod's head just fell off.
Right.
So I had to get a new tripod. So I've been kind of playing around all day with trying to figure out a setup for what we could do for this stream. And also, like last week, the stream was canceled because I'm not sure if you guys saw. I posted on the community tab of the channel that Joey
Yeah.
had temporarily,
Pretty much switched to a graveyard
yeah,
shift last
temporarily
night,
switched
so
to a graveyard
and
shift.
so we were just adjusting sleep and yeah, trying to function.
Yeah, so and then just because of that, I didn't really have much time to get around to building anything else. Um, so now we have a couple of things to show you guys. Again, it's not that much just because of how crazy it's been around here. Um, so I guess let's just let's begin.
Dive right in. So
Mm,
what first?
let's do the bear first. Even though she doesn't look like a bear yet, so it'll be hard for you. She's a bear.
She's
Trust me.
barely a bear.
She's not really a bear yet, exactly, but she is a bear. You don't need to be finished for her to be a bear. It's fine.
Right.
But yeah, if those of you guys have been watching the channel for a while, may remember the bunny girl that I've been making. This is going to be in the same style, but this is going to be a bear girl. So let me show you guys a closer view. Something that I'm really excited with experimenting with these dolls is just doing a lot of different body types of dolls. So this bear girl is going to have a lot more of a bigger, voluptuous body type. So that's exciting. And maybe at some point I'll actually write down all of my different body types and I can show you guys how to make those at some point. Because it's actually all the same base pattern as my realistic body doll. The only thing that's different is just the amount of increases and decreases and how many rows that you do of increases and decreases and just where exactly you put them in the row. But for the most part, it's exactly the same technique as the realistic body doll that I have on the channel. So with this one, I did a little bit of a different thing on the face. I added a little bit more of a point to the nose just so that I could have a spot to put her little bear nose. Most of the time with dolls that I've made in the past, I've just done straight single crochet stitches at the face, and then any facial features that I've put on, I've actually layered on with just sewing stitches. But I've been doing a little bit more experimenting, and you guys will see with the doll later that I'm working on. I've done a little bit more experimenting with trying to shape the actual face of the doll. And this one, I have a couple of interesting plans for her face where I'm thinking of actually pushing in her face here to give her kind of eye sockets, and then placing an inset eye inside of the eye sockets and then covering that up around so that her eyes are like actual circles inside, like actual balls inside of her head.
Right.
Instead of it just being like a little circle that's sewn onto the front. So that's something that I'm going to try to do with this doll.
Yeah, no, it looks really good. Definitely adds a different level of like depth and reality or realism to it.
And you can see there's a couple of little subtle curves that I've put on her sides here. I'm going to try to do that more with this particular doll. I'm trying to give her like very particular curves to her body. So I'm really putting the increases and decreases in very intentional spots. And I actually redid the bust several times just to make sure that I got the exact right like amount of increases and decreases.
Right.
It was a bit of a weird series of increases and decreases. I actually started with 8 increases, then I did 12 increases for 2 rows, then I did the opposite to finish the bust. So it started out as an 8 and then it became a 12 after. And it came out with this nice little gradual curve at the chest.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it has a little bit more of a natural look. The other thing that I'm planning on doing, you might be able to see it slightly. There's a little tiny wrinkle right along the bottom here, and I'm going to emphasize that at the end with some stitches just so that it looks like it's like naturally just hanging and laying against her chest. I just want this one to look really, really natural.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about this project.
Yeah, no, that looks really good. It'll be interesting to see how it compares to the other.
Yeah, definitely.
The other body types, and definitely the other animal
girls
that you're making in your lineup.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. And the next one that I'm gonna start is probably gonna be Squirrel Girl, and then I also really, really want to make a Fox Girl because
Nice.
that's what people want most of the time. I feel like every time that people have asked me to do some sort of like animal ears thing, it's always either like cats or foxes.
Keep on thinking like a skunk girl would be
cool. Oh, that's a good idea.
Because I keep on thinking like Pepe Le Pew, even though he's not a girl. He's not a girl, but
the cat that he's always chasing.
He always
that poor girl
thinks that she's a skunk.
But yeah, that would be cool. I didn't think to do that. That's a cool idea.
Just like big fluffy tail like a squirrel, kind of, but a little bit more in the way of color changes.
Another thing that I would like to experiment with doing in the same style is like different like dog breeds.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, because I mean I'm making my Siamese cat girl right now,
Yeah.
but it would be cool to do different types of dogs and have them all have different like slightly different body types depending on the type of dog they are.
Right.
Like make a really big like broad shouldered like boxer girl and stuff like that. Like it would just be a fun
tiny little Chihuahua girl.
Yeah, exactly. Like that would be really, really fun to just like play around with.
Or just make Mr. Peanut Butter and
yeah, I know. I have a couple of things like from BoJack that I want to make specifically. I have my Princess Carolyn that I'm working on right now.
Yeah, right. I almost forgot about her.
Yeah, I know. I haven't worked on her in a little while, but she's hanging out in the studio. Okay, so the next thing, let's just go through all of the random gems real quick, just because they're all kind of small and like in various states of being finished. So maybe let's start with give me Ruby as well. So if you guys have been following, you know that we are into Steven Universe in a big way around here.
Yeah.
We like it very much. And I've been working on a series of Steven Universe dolls for months and months now. This is like my second set of Steven Universe dolls too, and like probably my third or fourth Steven. But I don't have the Steven at the moment on me because I haven't worked on him in a little while. Yeah. But
as the title shows, these are new Steven.
Yeah, these are new. Dolls, these are new dolls.
These are ones that.
So I showed you guys the heads of a couple of these dolls last week, and they've come along a little bit, and I do have one that is brand new that I haven't shown you at all yet that I just started today. So these are the Ruby and Sapphire that I'm working on. And funnily enough, this Sapphire was going to be Lapis, but then I decided that this color worked better for Sapphire, so I actually started making a new Lapis. That's the new doll that I just started, and this is now Sapphire. So like, you may think the Sapphire is the new doll, but it's not. It's the Lapis. So let me show you guys a closer view of these. The other thing that I'm really excited about is just the different body types that I'm able to make with the exact same pattern here. So you can see that the bust is a lot like larger, but the body is a lot smaller on Sapphire. And with Ruby, it's the exact opposite, where her body's a little bigger and her bust is a little smaller, but it's all the exact same pattern. And you can see just how much more like broad-chested the Ruby is than the Sapphire, and how much larger the bust is on the Sapphire than the Ruby, and also just how tiny their bodies are compared to that bear girl that I just showed you. But it's all the same pattern, so it's just crazy how much variety you can get from just switching around all of the different numbers of rows, number of stitches, numbers of increases, etc. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about these two. Let's bring out the next one, which Peridot I've got finished a little bit further along. So I showed you guys her last week. You can see the gem is already in her head, but I haven't finished refining it quite yet. It's not quite the right shape yet. So I still need to like outline it to make it into that nice little triangle shape. But her body is coming along nicely, and again, it's the exact same pattern. So you can see her bust is a lot smaller and her shoulders are a little thinner. And I have gotten so far as getting to her lower body, so you can see she's got a tiny little booty on her, which I'm going to again emphasize the curvatures of that once I do the sewing of the body at the end of everything. I still have to make a tutorial for that because that's the one part of the realistic body doll that I haven't done a video for.
Sewing the booty together?
No, just sewing the body, like the whole body, like shaping the body with the yarn afterward, because that makes it makes a huge difference
like
to the
fine
shape.
Detailing
but yeah,
after.
It's just fine detailing.
Right.
I did one for my muscular body because I feel like I kind of had to, because it didn't really look as as good on the camera without doing that.
Yeah, giving it the abdomen.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
The muscle cuts or whatever.
But I kind of do the exact same, not exactly the same, but kind of the same technique to do the realistic body doll with the bust, to just shape the bust and the waist and like the hips and the crotch and everything.
Just to pull the fabric in certain spots.
Yeah, exactly, and it makes a huge difference. So once I do that, it'll probably look a little bit nicer in the booty area.
Right.
But the goal is for all of these dolls to be to have their outfits changeable, which is why I like to make them with just their body first, and then I make their outfits separately, because then I don't have to make a whole new doll anytime they change the design of the character, which they do all the time with Steven Universe. Yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty excited to like
make them your own set of clothes.
I know. That's another thing that I'm like
costume ideas.
That's like with my Connie, how she's like wearing the little plaid green shorts, even though she never wears anything like that in the show. But like,
they just fit so well.
But they fit her so well, so I put them on her.
And
oh yeah, and let me show you guys that gem again. I just need to outline that with some of this green yarn so that it looks more like a triangle. And I'm going to do the same thing to Lapis. Let me show you her. She's just ahead at the moment.
She's getting ahead.
So I want to do the same thing with her, where I'm pulling in some of the fabric to have her face shaped a little bit more.
You know, I think that looks good with you doing the foundational shaping a little bit.
Yeah, this one is another one that I did try to shape the face a little bit more. The nose looks a little bit like maybe not quite the right shape around the bridge, but that's because I do want to pull the fabric in right here.
Because it is keeping
and
that
then
in
it
mind.
will give more of that shape. That's kind of more what it's going to end up looking like. And you can kind of see I also shaped like the lips and the jaw and the chin a little bit on this one. So once I pull the eyes and the bridge of the nose in, it'll have a lot more of a similar shape to her face shape. I just really wanted to get, because she's got those like sharp angles kind of on her face, so I really wanted to get like that kind of like heart-shaped face kind of look that she has, with like the pointed chin and the like upturned nose. Also, I did that a little bit with Pearl, so I kind of wanted her to look similar to Pearl.
Right, totally.
A little bit, yeah. So there's Lapis. And when I make Lapis, I had done that with this doll when I was intending for her to be Lapis, but I frogged everything, and I have the gem somewhere over there. But I was going to do the same thing with Lapis at her back that I did with Peridot's gem here. And essentially what I did with that was I just made a separate magic circle that was in the same color as the yarn, and then I kind of like made a little case for this to sit in. And then as I was working, I just kind of like grabbed it as I went. Like I just grabbed the circle around the gem like as I worked, so that there was like a little pocket built in for the gem to rest inside of. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing with Lapis once I get to her back, which I'm about to get to.
Yeah, right. It's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, that's why I've left her as this floating head, because I I haven't made the little pocket for her gem yet. That's the next thing I need to do. And the other thing that is concerning me is that I made her neck kind of skinny, so I kind of am worried about like not being able to fit her skeleton into her head. So I kind of maybe want to make her skeleton first, just to make sure that I can get it in there. Only thing with that is that I'm going to have to work around a skeleton, which is always annoying, but it's worth it if I'm like...
Right.
If I'm able to get it in there without any trouble. So
yeah, those are all the
new gems that I've started working on. I feel like there was something else I wanted to say about the lapis, but I can't remember now, so...
You gonna give her some watery wings?
I know, that's something I've been wondering if I should try to figure out a way to do. I'm not sure if there's a way that I could really do it, though. The only thing that I could really think of is trying to do something like with like resin or like glue gun or something, because I know they have like glue guns that come in like different colors, and like sometimes they have like glitter and junk and stuff like that. So like something like that maybe, but I don't know. I just don't know what would work well that would look like water, but that would be like something that I could like add some sort of armature to make it like posable and removable.
Yeah,
it's a tough, like, if you guys have any have any ideas, about how to add something like that, like leave your suggestions in the comments. But yeah, that is definitely something I would like to try to do. Obviously I don't have to do it immediately, because like I could just make the lapis, and then theoretically the way that I do this should be a way that I could like remove the wings and put them back on, because that's the goal with these dolls.
Well, yeah. Because she doesn't always have her wings on, so...
Yeah, exactly. So I would prefer if they were removable.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a way that I could figure out how to do it, but...
Yeah.
But again, if you have any suggestions...
Brainstorm.
And then the other thing that I wanted to just highlight is the difference in the colors that I am using for Sapphire and Lapis. Just because this was going to be Lapis, and I ended up changing my mind. And I'm really, really glad that I did.
Yeah,
because this color just works so much better for Lapis than this one did. I was a little bit unhappy with this one, and I just didn't remember that I had this one, and it wasn't where I thought it was when I like looked through all of my blue yarn. So I was like, oh, I guess I don't have anything that would work for Lapis, really. And I had this one, and I was like, that would kind of work, I guess, but it like would work better for Sapphire. And I did have another color of blue that was similar to this, but a little darker. And I was like, that would maybe work for Sapphire, I guess. But I didn't really want to, because I didn't feel like it was exactly... Like, I feel like this was exactly the right color. And this was like... Once I found this one, which was in a completely different random place, because the studio is still a mess. But once I finally found...
It's getting there, slowly.
I know, right? So, we have one more thing that I've done a little bit of work on. It's in the same vein.
Ball of green.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's a bunch of trailing ends. I'm gonna have to separate those later. And there's one more thing that I wanted to show you guys. This is the Greg that I've been working on. He's coming along pretty well. I would have finished his leg, but then I ran out of yarn.
Legless Greg.
I know that always happens. Well, he's more like half footless on one side and legless on the other. I ran out of yarn halfway through the foot. So let me show you guys that a little closer up. That's where I ran out of yarn, at the halfway point through the foot. And this is where what I've gotten done so far. I'm really liking this tripod angle, actually, because you can see a lot more of the doll at a time. I'm liking this. Just side note.
I know, right? You guys can't see the new tripod at all, but
it works really well.
Let us know how it's doing.
So, I made Greg with a really nice booty, because, like, he seems to have one.
Yeah, you'd think.
And also, I just really like the way that the shape of his leg came out. It's, like, similar to my basic doll, but with, like, a little tiny bit of, like, embellishments that make it look more realistic. Just his body type that I made. Because I didn't give him, like, the six-pack or anything like that I have for that muscular doll. So this is kind of more like a combination between the basic doll and the more realistic shaped doll. And I'm still so very happy with the color choice of his sunburned
I know,
head.
right? That's looking good.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for when he's finally finished and doing like the arms and the rest of the
getting
legs.
Back to the pink parts of him. Yeah, nice.
That's another thing that I was actually thinking about.
What?
Are his feet sunburned too?
Yeah, in flip-flop.
That's right, aren't they? So
Yeah.
that means that it's just kind of a good thing I ran out of yarn right there.
Yeah.
So I can probably just like maybe like I probably should actually frog a row back and start again.
So start where his ankle.
Yeah, I'm glad that happened, because what if I had finished it?
Right.
But yeah, I'm glad that I didn't finish it, because now I can do the rest.
Actually,
of the
does he
foot
have a shorts tan?
Huh?
Does he have shorts?
Does he have a shorts tan? I'll have to look that up, because
know.
if so, then I could just like go back and redo it.
Just got carried away. I can't remember.
It's okay. I actually still remember
seeing the doll, and now
I actually still remember the exactly what I did. So I could easily go back and redo it, because it was a pretty simple process. I just really like the way that shape looks. It has a really nice shape.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I'm like glad in that. But yeah, that's the last thing that we wanted to show you guys. So we're actually
went by pretty quick.
Yeah, it was a pretty quick one this time.
WIP Wednesday number 25.
Not even 25 minutes long. I just haven't really been I haven't really had much time to work on stuff.
Yeah,
and
we've still had a lot going on lately.
We've still been coming back from our crazy sleep schedule that we had for a week. And I have been working on a video that's taking me a little longer than I anticipated. So that's also giving me more trouble with actually working on actual projects, because I have been working on the beginner tutorial series that I've started, and I just started working on the increasing video, and that's a lot more complex of a beginner concept than most of the ones that I've done so far. So this one's taking me a little longer to work on. Yeah. And then I've been writing the script for the decreasing video, which is a whole other complicated beginner concepts to go through. So like that's the next thing that I have to film. And also I've been kind of delayed on filming everything because the tripod broke, and I've been trying to figure out.
I know, right? Just comically, we used that tripod.
It was so ridiculous the way that it broke. Right? Because I wasn't even touching it. It just fell off right, and it's fortuitous because it was right when I finished filming.
Right,
like,
so it was immediately
video.
Once you were
It was
finished
immediately after I finished using it to film the last video that I was working on it. Yeah, I was just, I'm tired, and then it died.
Right.
It was really sad. I was like,
I know, that's pretty funny.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's convenient that it happened after you finished everything.
It
would have been pretty horrible if it happened.
I was like, is this a dream?
I know, right? Right. It's one of those things where it's like
surreal.
Things are surreal now. Pinch myself, make sure I'm awake.
Okay, guys, that's it for us for this week. We'll be back next week. Let me have a look at what the calendar says. Next week is the last Wednesday of the month, which means we're actually going to take the week after that off. I know that we took last week off, but we're still going to take our first week of the month off.
We cheated.
But we're going to try to maintain our every Wednesday except the first Wednesday of the month thing that we've been doing.
Yeah, just keep up more regular content. Hope you guys are enjoying all of this extra content, or if you like the new lessons Liz is putting out, leave a comment, let us know. It's always good to hear some feedback.
Yeah, I appreciate it, you guys. And also, if you missed it, it seems like it's a lot of people missed it. But if you missed it, I just put out my ponyta tutorial finally after like literally 5 years of people asking me to make.
I know, right?
So if you're one of the people that asked me to make that, it's there now. So go find it.
Yeah, so you can finally make the ponyta for yourself.
Yeah. Excuse me.
That being like amongst the first Pokemon you ever made.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, well, that's it for us for this week.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you guys next time. Everybody go watch Detective Pikachu, by the way.
Oh, yeah. It's good. It's really good.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.